Peace. This is Akanki from Akanki's World, and I'm bringing to you the Everyday Goddess. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it. If you followed me on any social media platforms, you will see and know that I'm all about you finding yourself. The main point of even being down here in this realm is to know thyself, not know how to regurgitate lines out of a book or to talk about how this person said this. It's to know yourself because you are the only person you can't fool. That's just the way it is. You can talk a good talk over the phone. You can play whatever act on social media, but when you're by yourself at night or whenever, when you're by yourself in your thoughts, you got to deal with you. And you, and you know what your hangups are. So, right here is where you understand those things, face those things, and understand who you are entirely. So, the everyday goddess is where you're going to take your everyday dealings and you're going to break those down and understand what are the symbols to it. Because, and you may have heard this before, you have your conscious mind, which is your ego, that keeps you going through the cycle. Okay, and then you have your subconscious minds, and subconscious mind. You develop that through symbols, repetition, and trauma. All right, now everybody has had trauma. A lot of it is repeated, okay? And there is a symbol in everything that happens to you. So every day you are building up your subconscious mind, but then you got the player hating conscious mind that's telling you, nah, 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 that's not what it is. You don't want to try that. That's different. That's new. And that might make you change. So we're not going to do that, okay? So the thing is to have the subconscious mind run the ship, not the ego. And a lot of people still got the ego running the ship. And it gets a little funky, and I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have ego. You gotta have ego. I hope that you get up and wash your ass in the morning and put on deodorant and maybe put on a little makeup to make yourself feel good. I mean, we are down here, to really have a good time, honestly. But you gotta know yourself to be able to enjoy it and even understand it. All of us go through our phases, our times, and trying to understand, and we're confused, and that is fine. But right now it's a shift going on. Everybody's waking up claiming that they're going to be great and that this is going to be different than every other year. Last year apparently kicked a lot of people's asses, and there's a reason for that. I mean, when you came into the year, it told you. But if you're not paying attention, and if you don't have that goddess mentality or God frequency, you're going to miss it. And then you're going to feel like you're being attacked. But you're not being attacked. It's just these lessons are coming in there, and they're coming fast. And you can't walk away from them and not act like they didn't happen, because there's a shift going on, and that is what is it has to happen, because you know we're moving on. You can't stay in the same place unless you want to, and go ahead. Peace be with you, whatever. But if you are interested in understanding how to become the everyday goddess, this channel will be for you, because this is going to decipher between the queen and the goddess. There is a difference. First off, um, queen, if you want to get into the word, okay, really means whore. Um, I know it's been flipped, but hey, you've been listening to words that have been flipped, and the meanings mean something else, and so you've really been doing a spell against yourself the whole time. And for me, that seems like one of them. Now, it's a frequency, like I said. So you can use the word queen, okay? But if your mind is on the goddess frequency, it don't matter, because your mind is not getting into the queen as in the human sense of a queen, oh, I gotta adjust my crown type stuff. No, 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 no. It's the frequency of unfuckwittable, pretty much. That's pretty much how that goes. And it's like I said, it's a mind thing. It's not necessarily what you putting on for show out for the world. It's the internal is showing through you. You don't even have to say a word. You walk in a room, be like, damn, okay, yeah, I see her. And it comes with a little bit of intimidation with people who haven't found themselves yet. So I just want to bring that to the forefront. That's what this channel is going to talk about, how you can develop your mind into becoming that goddess. Now, here's the other thing. Not everybody's here to do that. And I'm totally understanding of that. Then you got some people who claim that they are because they like labels. People love labels. We have been brought up in a society where you want to label everything, and that supposedly makes it better. Okay. But towards the end of the day, or at the end of the day, how you want to say it, you're going to have to show and prove to yourself. Okay. You just can't fake the funk on yourself but so long. And most people that do, they lose it. They go crazy. They just can't hold it together but so long. Okay? Now, we have this thing going on with social media. So, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You can get a lot of information from social media. And that's great because now it's not like you have to go searching in different books, especially if you can't get a hold of them, or have to listen and, seek out certain lecturers or what have you. It's not as closed circuit anymore. So if you have a question about anything, and when I say anything, Google is a warehouse of information. You can write paragraphs into Google and it will pick up something that's going to give you the information that you need. So here is the other part of knowing thyself when you have a question. I see a lot of people on social media going to ask other people questions about certain things regarding spirituality, how to get started, how to do this, how to get that. But they become, frustrated or to get their feelings hurt because people aren't as nice as they think they would be. Spirituality, I don't know where it said nice in that shit. It's about knowing yourself. And some people don't want to share. Why I gotta waste my time with you? I mean, they don't have to, right? So the thing is to stop to get the I guess the first thing I should say when you're getting on this frequency, because like I said it's a frequency, is to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it yourself. Ask yourself those same questions and listen to yourself. Well, what do you think you need to do? Hmm. You know, it's like going to that professor or teacher, whatever, in school that you know is an all out asshole who doesn't want you to ask them any questions. They want you to find it for yourself because the lesson that you're going to learn in it is going to impact you a lot more than somebody just giving it to you. And that is the part of going, on that frequency. It's how hungry are you for more light? How hungry are you for more knowledge? How hungry are you to take what you've gotten and actually use it, apply it? How hungry are you to do that? Are you just trying to regurgitate something else because you've had what is that, public school education or the European education where it's like memory, memorize, and then regurgitate. But if you can't apply it, what's the point? Okay, so we got the basis of that down. Okay, and the whole reason for, like I said, for this channel is to help you to see everyday things and use a different frequency. And if that's not for you, I'm gonna reiterate this: go about your business. And I've met so many people who have a sense of the goddess frequency, but They love the bullshit. I enjoy they were like, oh, well, I like money and I like that. You can love money on the goddess frequency. Matter of fact, it will come to you rather freely. You can have sex on the goddess frequency. Lots of it. I mean, there are no limits on this frequency. See, your humanity and your morality will put limits on everything. And you'll limit yourself because you feel like, well, I have to do things this way, I have to do things that way. But in no book does it say you have to live like X, Y, and Z on the goddess frequency. Now, on the queen or on the human frequency, yeah, it's a list of rules. And most of the people that swear they follow it don't follow it. They just pick out bits and pieces and use it to whatever they need it for. So, like I said, the goddess frequency, the everyday goddess. So, for this episode, I want to get into the fact that we have come into a new calendar year. Now, I'm not about to debate on the Gregorian calendar or what have you. We're on that solar calendar, 12 months, 31, 30, 30, 29 to 31 days, whatever. It's a very masculine energy calendar. All right. Now, but today, or right now, is January. So, what I want to show you is how you can take these little things and you can see it on a different frequency and build yourself up to actually understanding, well, how do I dig deeper into it, because it's so much out there. So I'm just picking one thing because we have just come into January and everybody's on this. I'm sorry, I guess it's cliche to say new year, new me. It's more, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but you know how it go. We're gonna focus on this and focus on that because 2018 almost killed us. Yeah, 2018 was that gateway year. You walk through that thing and get your ass kicked, and a lot of people got their ass kicked because they ain't walked through that door to the last minute. All right, that's cool. You gotta learn because that's where that repetition, that's where them symbols come in, and that trauma to build up that subconscious mind. So it's all good. But anyway, so I want to introduce this book. Great book. The Goddess Book of Days. Listen, this book here gives a goddess for every day, and then not just one goddess, so people don't have to get upset and be like, oh, they only focus on XYZ. No. It comes through, it goes across the cultures. It even gives the consorts. So if you're a man, you can still, use this book. If you're a male, you need to use this anyway because it's all about balance. Us women, females, we've been in it the whole time because we're in a patriarchal society. So we've seen the masculine side. The goddess side has been hidden. It's been put, under wraps. So finding out these things helps you to actually balance yourself out. If you're a male and you get into this, you'll be balancing yourself out because you'll understand how that other side works, that divine feminine energy works. So none of this is to your detriment. All right, so we got that out the way. Now, this is January. January is named for Juno. Juno means genius. It's the female or the divine feminine side of it. But because we have been turned into a more a patriarchal society, and that has to even come from the calendar. The solar calendar is more on the masculine, the lunar calendar, the feminine. And so here in the States, they don't recognize the lunar calendar. That's just the way it is. Okay, no need to debate it. I mean, that's what it is, okay? The energy cannot be destroyed or created. It can just be transferred. So you take that knowledge and you say, all right, we're on the solar calendar. Okay, it's January. That's how this society moves. Okay, great. The month of January is Juno. Juno is the female version of genius. Cool. Juno. We have learned something now. So, like I said, showing you this one. This is a great reference book. Now let's take it a step further. Okay. So what is Juno? Who is Juno? How does it represent it? It says here, and let me show you this book, because see what I do is I reference a lot just to kind of bring it together. And this is the way you're able to deify. Deify is you take something, a deity, and you evoke it from yourself because you have all of these energies. You are all of this condensed into a body. So that makes you like super goddess. But what we do is we've gotten so condensed, excuse me, I hate to keep saying that, but we've gotten so crystallized into matter that we don't even recognize the great stuff that we have within us because we shortchange ourselves. And a lot of that has to do, most of it has to do with the whole mental programming. So what you're doing is you're coming in and you're giving yourself a chance to reprogram and to build up that subconscious mind with some great shit that you can use rather than some stuff that only your ego uses and you're giving it too many jobs. The ego needs the job of keeping your ass clean, fed, on that kind of stuff. But the subconscious mind has no limitations. It doesn't know right from wrong, that there is one. That one is the limitless one that you should really be working with at this point in time. So back to Juno. All right, so pretty much Juno was a Roman queen of heaven and mother of the gods. So Juno is everything. Now, I also want to go back really quickly, I apologize, and name off some other names for Juno because that's from one culture. But we all understand that is there across the board. It's just the culture named it what they wanted to. And you can get into your own studies on who is the most, the archetype for it, the first one. That's fine. The thing is the, the attributes, because you're not worried about, oh, it's this person and they have this color skin and these people stole this from some. We already know that. And if you don't know it, go read the history books. That'll give you enough for you to understand that part of it. But we're talking about the frequency, okay? And it's not to get on who was the first to do this. It's in you. And that's all you need to know. It's in you, and you need to be able to pull that out and use it for yourself. And that's all that matters, right? So we know that Juno is Roman, but Juno is also Hera, Rhiannon, Urzuli, Devi, Mawau, Freya, the Spider Woman, Gaia, or the Great Mother. So we've touched on all of these great archetypes, okay? And for the month of January, like this says, January is named for Juno, and Juno is genius. So why not for the month of January, you dedicate yourself to your genius? You see how you get yourself on that goddess frequency? It's simply complicated is what I like to say, because it's a simple concept, but it's complicated because you have to fight with your mind to actually stay on it. And the only way that you can know if this resonates with you is if you try it, if you work it out. How I experimented with it, it may not resonate with you. This is why I'm giving you the concept. I'm not telling you, okay, well, for 30 days I did X, Y, Z, because I might miss something or leave something out or forget to tell you, oh yeah, well, in addition to that, I had a dream that told me I need to go do this, but you didn't have that type of dream. So that's not the same thing. And we need to really stay on task with the concept. You take the concept and then you apply that to your situations. That's the frequency. Make it your own, because, right, what did I say? Know thyself. It's not knowing the person that said it on the video because they did it this way. No. This is where you get your cool points when you do the shit yourself. And you get your own experiences from it. Can't nobody take that away from you. And guess what? Can't nobody tell you you wrong. Like, I got this from my experience. And then you're going to keep going further and further. So I'm just showing you from this one book Goddess of the Days, Book of the Days. I then went to another book, The Woman's Dictionary. Okay, this is just another book, and it has all of the different symbols and sacred objects in it. So, hey, Juno is in it. And Juno is the name of her soul, as genius was the name of the man's soul. So you notice how you only hear genius. Genius, genius, genius. So you know that means something, really smart. um, it's just something that people love to be or be called, heralded as a genius. Ooh. So now, ladies, you got your Juno. Okay? Now you have a word if people want to, use that. And understanding that you have something too, because a lot of things, like I said, have been made on the masculine, on the male side. All right? Now let me get into a little bit more about Junos. All right? So the patriarchal society naturally retained the word genius for the idealized male soul, but forgot or left out the corresponding word Juno. Okay, so if you see it, Juno's star-shaped emblem identified her as the star of the sea. So I don't know if you can see this. That is hers right there. And you see this? Wasn't this look like an asterisk? And then this looks like what? Okay, so you start putting stuff together. Okay, the star of the sea on top of that cross. All of this stuff is connected. Everything is connected. But it's for you to connect it and apply it within. Okay? The thing is, you can hear a lot of stuff and you'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Can you apply it? Because that's when you know that you know it. And then when you apply it, okay, do you know it enough to be able to explain it to a little kid? Because we get all in this intellect stuff and it's like I need to explain it on the intellect of someone in college, or that I'm a learned person, and that's when the ego comes in. And a lot of times people not going to tell you they don't get it. It sounds interesting, you're like, yeah, that's cool, but can they go back and apply it if you're really trying to help? And it's not even so much that I'm out here trying to help you. I'm trying to help myself to make sure I freaking understand it, because it's about me leveling up. It ain't about nobody else. But that depends on what frequency you're on. That's why there's a difference between a queen. Queen come out here doing all this, smiling. Yeah, she look good, but she be toe up on the inside. Don't know who she is. So many times you see movies where the queen hates it because she feels like she don't know herself. She's in the shadow of someone else. Okay, so you gotta you gotta dig down and find your Juno. At least for January, get in the mindset of that. But back to this. All right. Juno renewed her virginity each year and miraculously conceived her holy child, Mars, without any male assistance. Oh my goodness, is that some divine intervention? Doesn't that sound like the same story you've heard? Now, I know many people have known that they know that these stories have been recycled and they've been different faces, heads have been put on it. And that's fine. That's what happens. People always steal shit. I mean, hey, we do it right now with social media. Somebody posts a meme, we copy the meme. Hey, yeah, you saw that on my page. Woo! Same shit. Take the energy from it. That's the whole point. Understanding where it's coming from and how you're using it for yourself, because the main purpose is know thyself, right? Okay, so we got in what Juno is, to that degree. But so then I go a little deeper because I want to know with every book that I have, and this one, let me tell you, the Encyclopedia of Spirits. Oh, it's like this particular book is one where you can just flip to a page and say, you know what, I'm going to go to a page every day and just see what my spirit brings me to. And you just read. And then you get into that zone, into that energy. And the more you get into that energy, the more you'll be able to use. I mean, like I said, it's limitless. There is nothing that you can't do. I mean, unless you say you can't. And that comes into whether you're working on the goddess energy, or you're working on that queen energy. And the queen energy is going to lean more towards what society says. It's going to lean more towards having fear. It's going to lean more towards believing than knowing. A goddess knows. A queen believes because somebody told her and they kind of, made a valid argument and it looked good. It sounded good at the time, that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, it does. I mean, you have to look within yourself and say, do you know these things that you claim that you live by? Or do you believe it? It's a big difference because if you know something, just like, okay, for instance, your child gets in trouble at school and they tell you your child did something, you know your child. From the moment you conceived this child, you know that they made your face break out. You know that they don't like tomatoes. They were born, they still don't like tomatoes. Excuse me. And you know that child. You don't believe that you know your child. You know that, you know it inherently. You know this, so nobody can actually change it for you. You've experienced it. You have gone through different things with your child. Now, okay, due to certain circumstances, you can battle back and forth and say, well, you can believe that your child would do something if they have that energy in them. Yeah, you can believe it, but there are certain things that you know that they won't do or that they would not have done. Knowing is due to experience. Believing is due to being told. And people break it down to be a lie. You're believing, someone else's interpretation of something. And that's when a lot of people get into the whole religion thing. I'm not even getting into that because you're here for whatever your purpose is to know yourself. So if knowing yourself is to go into, I don't believe in that, you got to dig deeper. Do you believe it or know it? And there's a lot of topics. People, I don't believe in that. Have you experienced it? Have you gone through the motions? Or are we having an informed, like I've experienced it? Or are you just going through emotions? Fear usually makes you believe in certain things so you don't have to deal with it. If I've never tried anything, I think I just go head first into it. Like, because I understand what this is. There's not a fear in it. But everybody's not the same. This is why I'm talking about the frequency of a queen or a goddess right now. Fix your crown, do whatever you need to do, but please find yourself in this. Don't keep running around, being copies of something else or someone else. A great quote is a great quote. That's fine. Read it, feel good, but then what you gonna do with it? I I'm just saying. Okay, so we're getting back to Juno because this is January and I'm giving you something that you can work towards, or the mental, in just trying to understand how to get on the frequency of evoking this energy that's already within you. All right, it's already within you. So it's not like you have to go and find something. You don't have to worship this. Well, how you would worship it is you worship your damn self. You take these attributes and you start to incorporate that into your everyday life, and then you become it. That's how you worship it. Nothing outside of yourself. None of this stuff is about outside of you. Everything that you're going to read is talking about you. The jewels that's within yourself. Fuck. Even the matrix is within yourself. It's the brain. The brain. Yes. And your brain tells your body what to do, tells you when to pee, tells you when to go take a shit, tells you when to eat. We tell you when you're stinking, you need to take a bath, tells you when you need a detox. The brain is telling you this, but it's been the one who's driving the ship is your mind. So it depends on how your excuse me, when your brain is telling you something, right, to do something. And if you have a fear or you have a stigma on whatever your body needs to do, your mind, you develop your mind. And if you're programmed by something outside of yourself, you're going to have issues. And this is how people get sick. And this is how people hold on to things, because your mind tells you, oh, it's this way. You may never have experimented or gone through it. I mean, I like to say sorry. I pretty much I turn over every stone. So I'll be like, all right, I did it this way. That shit ain't work. Let me try it this way. Because there are certain factors that, didn't go through all the way. And I learned from this. Let me come back and say, all right, I learned that part. But now this is still hanging in the balance. That's just me personally. Because the goddess in me is like, nah, we're not going to leave that hanging, because I don't want that chip on my shoulder. I've been through enough in this life already. I don't want no more chips. I don't need no chips. I need whole. I need whole. I need balance. And that's what it's going to be. So I'm just showing a way. Once again, I like to bring it back home, that you can move your thoughts from the feeling, from the emotions. And when I say feeling, I'm not saying be a hard ass and don't be like, I don't feel nothing, I'm independent. No, 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 no. I'm saying that you have an emotional response to everything. You are exactly what vampires need to use to suck your energy and direct you into a miserable path in this existence. That's what I'm talking about. And if that sounds overwhelming to you, then possibly you need to study more, or possibly you are not on that goddess wavelength. It's just how it goes. Okay? But a little bit more about Juno, and then I'll get out your hair. All right. Juno is, like we said, he's from the Roman region. She's an ancient spirit who preceded the Romans in the area. Now, she may have come from the Etruscans or one of the Italian tribes. And in her earliest incarnation, Juno was the spirit of time and in charge of organizing the orderly division of time. Now, in this capacity, she rules the menstrual cycle. And she's involved in every stage of female life, from the first breath to the last. Okay, so this is serious archetype. All right. And that means that energy can be used. Okay. Juno can heal any illness, but is most associated with women's illnesses. Okay, now that's dealing with breasts, reproductive organs. Now she will bestow fertility or can help you not get pregnant. So then you have this whole thing like Lilith, because Lilith will be the one that, if you don't want no kids, holler at her, that energy, and that'll help you out. And I am one that I can attest that Lilith will come through, and that stuff is no joke, and it'll be like boom, bam, pow. No joke. Lilith will come through for you. But you have to understand how to work that energy, because it's an energy.